can see play character also play animation. And we will pause it and we will see which script was attached to it. This was the script that was attached. Tutorial play animation. We'll open it in a second. And as you can see, when the W key was being pressed, the state would change from 1 to 0, and what that means was that running animation would start to play. So when you come here, press the W key, the running animation played. However, it didn't retain, and to play the animation forever, that is in a continuous loop, there are a couple of methods. One method that I will use is open up the animator component, this animator window. This is the animator window, and here what we will do is make transition inside idle. So whenever this animation is played once, it will start from scratch again. So what will this do is that idle animation will keep on playing. So if I show you here, if we do nothing, it will jump right away to the idle animation. And since we did this transition, so what will happen is that idle transition will keep on playing. Now to do the same with the run transition, what we got to do is that we will click here and then make the transition again. So do this. First we will stop the game, so it's not in play mode. Then press the run again and then play again. So idle keeps on playing forever. Now we will change it so that the run animation start to play again. We'll press W button. So now the run animation keeps on looping, and this is how your character starts to play this animation forever. So next thing would be to move this character along the plank or a bridge in a way that it should move along his head direction or on its X forward direction. To make it clear, let's head over to this direction. We want to move in this blue direction, which is the Z axis, or you can rotate it so you can move it along Y or X axis as well. So X is red, Y is green, and the third animation, the third arrow is Z. So Z is the direction we want to move for this tutorial. So to get started, what I like to do is create an extra script with the name player movement script, and we will save it in the script. Sorry, where is the script? Let's create a script here, C# script. This is empty C# script. This, when you will press this, you can rename it to tutorial player movement script. This will be dealing with your movement of your character. And once it's done, what we got to do is play it right here. Content, because the script class cannot be found. Okay. Let's open it. Alright. So what we got to do is place the empty functions. So what you gotta do is add component, new script, tutorial, player movement 1. When you press this, this doesn't open, so we will press edit script in a second, so it opens. So as you can see, when you create an empty C# script, this mono behavior doesn't come. So when this mono behavior is not there in the script, what will happen is that you cannot drag and drop it onto a game object, and hence this script can't be used on the uh, game object directly unless you add this mono behavior to it. You need to copy this, then you need to place it here like this, and just adding this line will make it drag and droppable directly on the game object. Since mono behavior means that the game object can be attached directly to a game object. Now when we place here, we were directly able to place. So let's remove the previous component that we added and copy these two functions, start and update. At this point, I assume that you know what is start and update. As written in the comments, start is called once. So whenever this game object is being run, is under compilation, is that runtime view. What will happen is it will whatever the code written here will be played once. So if I write debug log once, played once. So whenever this component becomes active, what will happen is played once will be called. And what will update do? Update is called each frame. So if the game has 60 frames, if the game runs 60 frames per second, or even or better, or if you aim for higher frame per second, this function will be called 90 times if your game has 90 FPS. If your game has 30 FPS that is running on mobile devices, then this game will be called, then this function will be called 30 times. So instead of, you can check how many times this function is being created by making a variable here. It's best to make the variable above start class here somewhere, update called, and you can increment it here like this, update called. Oh, sorry, this update called. It's best that you initialize your variables inside start. So this is your update call, this is your update call plus plus. What will happen is it will increment every frame. What this means is that if your games run so this is highly platform dependent. So 30 FPS is what is standard on mobile devices. So this function will run 30 times per second on mobile devices. For desktop, you can double it up, but again, if you have a better system, you can always do much more FPS. And if you have a average mobile devices, that is that your mobile device is not new and the hardware that is running on is not that impressive, then it might your frame rate might even fall down to 20 or 15. So the point is that uh, this function is the thing that you have to this function is comes natively with every script that you create, and this is where most of your logic will depend. That, for example, if you want to move your player around, especially in the player movement script, so if you want to move your player around left and right, you need to get access of your access. This is your access of your input. So this is your you go to input manager. When you press access, these are the horizontal axes. So if you your left and right button will be in your input manager, will show up, will can be read using this input manager class. So is your vertical axis. So key or mouse button x axis get motion from all joysticks. So this is what is uh, controlling things. And once your update is called, so you can check how many times, if your game if you play your game like 40 times, sorry, for 10 minutes. So what does this mean is this, that your 10 into 10 minutes and then 30 fps for each second. So it's 30, and then 60 is the seconds we have in 1 minute. So 10 into 30 into 60 is how many times this function will be used in. So to sum it up, we will 10 into 30 into 60. So 18,000 times this function will be called. So the logic that you put here is highly control your performance. So it is best that you only perform computation less, only perform tasks that are really important in this update method. And for the updated methods, you need to shift your control logic somewhere else. So this is start, this is update, and to get your player movement started, what we gotta do is we will look on transform position. What is this? And we will do that in the next video. Thank you.